Hello, Anashe, and this is a witchy haul that is basically a sampler from stuff that I've gotten lately. A few things, and since I wasn't available much on YouTube, I collected some interesting items and I wanted to show you what I got. I have a lot of books, but I also have some ritual items. Some of them I'm very happy with. So let me start. Well, for my birthday I got myself this tortoise rattle. It was linked as a child's rattle. It's made from tortoise shell. It's a real thing. It comes from a farm where they grow turtles to eat. Turtle soup is delicious, I hear. And it has a deer hide. This is non-color deer hide. It's the inner skin, and it has it has it's made, the twine is made from there's ligaments. It has such a wonderful noise to it, and I use it to cleanse, and I use it to call spirits, because in voodoo we used a lot of times a rattle to call spirits, and a turtle is really a symbol for the big mother out there, so it's a very good positive energy color. And they make it, and this is it's not a custom item. It's not a custom item. This is a regular thing that you can get from Native American people. From some tribes of Native American people. It's not a unique thing, and it's lovely. It's so sturdy. It's so comfortable, and I enjoy that precise sound so much. It's really thoughtfully made. So I think this is my favorite rattle right now. Now, my work with Oshun brought me to this. This is a Matson perfume bottle made from Ormolu, meaning it has 24 karat gold. This is the stopper. Now, you might think this is the bottle. This entire thing is the bottle. It's not. See, it's a grid. It's like a gold grid here. And in the center, there is this tube. This is the bottle. This is where the bottle is. Well, Oshun told me that she wouldn't have me made love potions that weren't made inside somewhat of a golden container. So I got this for her. I found it in an auction on a very cheap price. Yes, I find it gaudy. Yes, I find it extremely extravagant. But this is what Orisha Oshun wants. So whatever she wants, she gets. And it's like combining two symbols: the sunflower and the heart. So and the rose. It's like several flowers of Oshun, and it's also made from brass, copper, and gold alloy. So it's a very Oshun receptacle. And I will be using it to make love potions. Okay, now this is Haitian voodoo flag. Those are not cheap things. I saved for this one. Okay, now you see a few characters on this. The outer snake is Danbala, which is in my pantheon is basically Obatala. Okay, you see the two faces here, one here, one here. Those are the face of the Ibeji, the twins. By the way, my sign is a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. Okay, and there is Eshu Papa Legba in the center, which is represent, and above him there is a Haviyasu, which represents Shango, and he has 4 candles on his head. And this is made from sequins, and it's handmade, and it's a ritual flag. It's gonna hang in my room to represent the spirits, the positive spirits I have in my life, and I love it. I simply find it beautiful, and this is so, I feel so connected to this specific flag and this specific design. And of course, as you see, it's signed by the artist down there. Another ritual item that I've received. This is a Congo fetish. And this is the original Nikisi. If you heard the word Nikisi in the past, okay, this is what it refers to. This is a guardian. And as you see, unlike many guardians, this one has its weapon. When you get those, many times you see them disarmed, meaning they don't have a weapon or they don't have the medicine box. But this one does have the weapon and does have the medicine box. And allow me to explain. Okay, in the stomach there is basically a place where magical medicine is being made by a shaman or a witch and placed inside, and then it's basically covered by a transparent thing or an opaque thing, and then it's like cemented with a cement and wrapped in fabric. Yes, there is a black fabric here. It's difficult to see because, you know, that entire thing is dark. And this represents the protection medicine. Now, all the nails that are stuck into it, this is not a voodoo doll that someone is to be harmed. Basically, the nails and the pins that are being driven inside is so that the medicine from in it will be released spiritually. Every time there is a need for extra protection, you can nail in, okay? And the bones that are tied to it represents the offering and the sacrifices being given for this fetish. So, you know, this is going to be one of my room guardians now. And I already anointed it, and I already consecrated it, and I already introduced it to my household and my family and friends. And he loves to meet you, my YouTube followers. So those are the 4 big purchases that I've done last month. And I also got myself some books. Now, one of the things that I managed to get is the first edition hardcover, The Magical Formulary by Herman Slater. And let me tell you, this was eye-opening. Herman Slater was the proprietor of The Magical Child. And this is, of course, first edition from 1981. And, you know, it was very interesting to see, not the recipes. I think the recipes are elsewhere. By the way, this book has a smell of patchouli and tobacco. It smells wonderful. I really love the smell of old books. This is just me. I really do smells of old books. But also, you know, I think that the best thing I got from it is the perfumes. And sometimes the descriptions tend to be weird. Like, for instance, you know, the Eula perfume oil contains melon, rose, lavender, wisteria. Never use except when the death of an enemy is desired. Will reverse its mighty power if used for any other reason. It's like the yellow perfume is used to get unwed girls to get married, and melon, rose, lavender, and wisteria are not classically things used for cursing. Okay? So, you know, it has also all these idiosyncrasies, and you need to know what you're reading. But I just love it that I managed to get the first edition. It only cost me $50. I'm very happy for it. I like hardcover books. I have several that I'm going to show you in this haul. But if you are a magical potion maker, you should definitely get this or get a scanned version of it, because you can't get it anywhere nowadays. Now I'm looking for the hardcover addendum book. Okay, the next one. This one is a rare book that I rarely saw before. Magical Fabric Art, Spell Work and Witchcraft through Patchwork Quilting and Sewing, Sandra McCruz Scarapa. I'm making a lot of sachets and a lot of little pillows, and I'm really, you know, even before I got knowledgeable into witchcraft, I was very much interested in quilting. I really want to learn how to do this. I need to start now if I'm going to be a grandmother quilter. And also there is like examples of like magical quilts and old quilts in there in colors, and you know, and tells you the symbology of quilts. You know, you might have like a quilt in your family that you were using for years and you don't even know what this is, you know, what the pattern represents. And you know, I was looking for a place where, you know, they would take like all the Amish and all those traditional American style quilting, and they would talk about them like about their magical and symbolism. And really, I never saw this book discussed anywhere. I read it, I love it. Maybe I will do a full book review on it. So, you know, we will talk about this. Okay, I went, you know, when I was doing my last assignment for my librarian studies, I went to Jerusalem and I made my friend take me all to the used bookstores, and I found like a lot of witchcraft books, like 11 in all of the bookstores in Jerusalem. I think that I rejected like 3 I spent something like $70 getting them all. But I didn't just get witchcraft books, I also got storybooks. Cornish Ghosts and Legends, okay, for instance, is one of those books. And this is a selection of stories about ghosts, Zion, the little folk of Cornwall, that has been taken from the 3-volume work by William Bottle, published privately about 100 years ago. The stories are not only enthralling in themselves, but also shed light on the way that life and beliefs of people coming to the west of Cornwall all that time. Since Botwell wrote with great verve and humor, it has been an eye character for details. This collection will be enjoyed with the love of this romantic country. And it also, the first story here has Tammy Blee, which is like one of the witches, one of the local witches of Cornwall, and the result of a presentation for the Cornwall Witchcraft Museum. Okay, and I'm trying to look if I can find a carving that represents her. Yeah, here she is. Now you probably can't see them that well, okay? But this is a carving, and that old woman near that cottage is Tammy Blee. Okay, so anyway, it's a delightful little storybook. I really enjoyed it. Also, there is a story here. Actually, some of the stories here can teach you witchcraft, because one of the stories is the cursing verse and how it's being used, that you utter it before you die and you do a death curse or a horrible curse that ruins people's lives. It's very interesting. And the rest of my haul are stuff that I got from Troy Books. I got those from Troy Books. And you can't really be a traditional scary witch nowadays if you don't have Troy Books books. So let me show you what I have. Okay, first of all, I got this. This is a standard hard copy of The Devil's Dozen. The Devil's Dozen is 13. By Gamma Gary, and there are 13 rituals of traditional Cornish witchcraft here. My favorite one is the Whist Hounds, how you call guardian hounds to protect you. It's fascinating. And also, it has again, beautiful style wood carving, spells and rituals. It's a beautiful thing to have. And if you want to be kicked out of your house as a teenager, own this book. I promise you, you will be kicked out of the house. Another one that I received, and I'm sorry, now is... Israel is a desert country, basically. I live in the north, but I don't live north enough to avoid the desert storms. This is the Black Toad Grimoire, I think also by Gamma Gary. Yeah. Isn't that simply gorgeous, okay? And it's basically based on, some Chambly's teaching, and some other things, and they talk about protection and defenses, cure charms, protection against ailment, disaster and good fortune, virtues of trees. It has a lot of little tidbits and magical informations, and again, pretty pictures. And again, that's a standard hard copy. They look very expensive. They are not that expensive. It's like, if you want something that looks that cool, you can invest some money in it. Another one that I got that was recently published, and by the way, it's from the Troy Books. This is by far my favorite. This one, Spells from the Wise Woman's Cottage, and by Steve Patterson, that is now working in the Museum of Witchcraft, and he's also a main folklorist. Sorry, let me adjust the camera. And I'm using and there is a spell here that I'm going to read in Let's Read Ancient Spells from the 17th century. It's fascinating, trust me, I love it. Another one that I found is this. Doesn't it look like the Black Grimoire of Doom? This is the Cecil Williamson Book of Witchcraft, the Grimoire of the Museum of Witchcraft. And it has notes by Cecil Williamson, that was at the time before they separated, a friend of Gerald Gardner, but the way got different turns. And there is the spells here, and also a bit about the history of the Museum of Witchcraft and items that he owned. Okay, here's Gerald Gardner, by the way. A picture of Gerald Gardner. And it's a fascinating book. It's a fascinating little book about history, and not anything else. The spells here, there are some unique traditional spells that he specifically wrote and nobody else, but I don't think that his specific spell book is feasible for many people today. No, it's not something that people would practice. I also got this Korean boyer under the witching tree, and as you see on the cover, this is a rowan cross with rowan berries for protection. And you know, I didn't read this one, but first of all, you know, there is someone, I think like the Mystical Chrome, recommended this book to me. The problem is that many of the plants and herbs are not available in Israel. We don't have rowan, for instance. We have like different kinds of oaks. We need a spell book of our own, and now, you know, we started, you know, this is the right time to have like this renaissance of folklore writing in Israel. So I'm very hopeful, and there is already, you know, an Israeli folklore of herb book that got published last year. So, you know, a lot of things are out there. Anyway, this is a sample for my haul. I showed you all my magical items, but definitely not all the books. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you have a question about anything that I have shown, I would be happy to answer in the comments below. Goodbye, my lovelies, and Ashe.